started. Hello, everybody. We're going to be going live in a few minutes. Just give me a second, and I'll let you know when we're live, Claudia, inside the community. We are now live inside the Share Good Stories and Solutions community. Hi, everybody. My name is Jillian. All right, so we're going to be doing a presentation tonight on the future of preventative health and why immune intelligence matters now. You know, and we've got some really great slides. A lot of them will be printed off, available for you later inside our community for you to reference. So don't worry if you can't see the slide or you can't read all the details, because I want to make sure that you guys get the information. For those who don't know who I am the creator of Feel Good, Share Good, and that's the two communities that we have to serve you and serve those that are curious to get healthy and the steps to get healthy. But one of the things that I got discovered with in the last year and a half was, you know, the importance of immune system. And I didn't really fully understand that until I was introduced to the concept. You know, we all kind of have a dabble of understanding of what it is, but we don't necessarily know the importance of it. So this presentation today is actually going to talk about the importance of immune intelligence and what that is for you and your family. So bear with me. Tonight is heavy loaded on details, but there are some really good nuggets here that you can take away for yourself, whether or not you're an affiliate or whether or not just somebody that's coming in to learn more about good practices based on what we learned through COVID. And now I want to make sure that tonight you leave with value, and then you also then want to come back for some enhanced training so you can earn a certificate. This is our first official program, you know, within our community that will offer a certificate for attendees. So thank you to everybody that's showing up to the live right now. I am multitasking, so bear with me. If I'm seem a little bit disjointed, it's because I am presenting the PowerPoint, and we're hoping that you can watch the recording, because there will be a test at the end of the month, albeit it's going to be like really simple. But, you know, the bottom line is that you have to earn the certificate so that we can start and also get feedback on whether or not you want to have more of these programs in the future. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get started. Claudia, are we good to go?
I haven't been able to go into Facebook, but I'm good here to go to help you out.
Just want to double check that we're live inside this the Facebook community, and we're good. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get started then. All right. So it's always important, like with everything that we do, that we have a disclaimer, it's a health disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only, not medical advice. We are not FDA, there's an FDA disclosure on here, but basically our mission is to make sure that you feel good, share good, and build health together. Okay. So the first question I have to ask everybody, what are you doing today to protect tomorrow's health? Because this is all about preventative health. Tonight's show is all about that, because we need to shift from reactive treatment to intentional daily preventative measures to build biological resilience. Now, that is one of the big shifts that I've actually seen over the last couple of years, where people are now thinking, oh my gosh, what do I need to do now to stop myself from getting sick? Instead of being so busy and so rushed off of our feet, we typically go to the doctors. And I've been guilty of this, and it's caused me a lot of problems in my past, where I've had to just go, okay, tell me, what can I do to stop myself from feeling sick? What can I do right now, because I have a headache? And we reach to the shelf and get ourselves a specific, you know, NSAID, which caused me a lot of problems. And for those who don't know, I had been diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver in the past. And that's one of the reasons why I went through a really big health transition when it came to helping heal my liver. So we never know what those quick fixes can do to our system. So we could prevent those. Imagine what would happen to our generational health. So one of the things I want to talk about is that your immune system is your nature's supreme defense. And we're going to go over a couple little questions right now, but then we're going to talk about what's going to be happening through the month of June. But this is one of the things that I see right now when it comes to the preventative health trends today. I would love to hear in the chat or on the Facebook Live who right now is inquiring about peptides and regenerative therapies. Who's actually been seeing a lot online on social media about this? And some of them are scary, but we are very fortunate that we have natural peptides within our with a hand, with transfer factors. And we had a great educational training series on this. And you can go to the Feel Good, Share Good YouTube channel. It talks about the difference between natural and synthetic. We had a really great training on that. So make sure you look for that, because we are different. There are some different strategies out there for peptides, because but there's a lot of concern about it. So make sure for those that are looking for a preventative health trend, yes, this is great, but make sure you do your due diligence. The other one that I know that is really, really awesome, and I know Dodi Dietz is a big fan of this, is sauna and heat therapy. That is all over social media, all over, YouTube, about, making sure you get a sauna, like people doing red light therapy. I know Gabriella talks about that all the time. But it does also promote detoxification, circulation, and stress resilience. So people are spending a lot of money now on getting in-house sauna. So if you have a sauna at home, share in the comments below in their community. I'd love to hear more that people that have it. I myself try to go out there on hot days and let it sweat it out. I'm fortunate to be in the Caribbean that can do that. Not everybody is, though. The third thing that I'm seeing is longevity and biohacking practices. That's where you focus on sleep, nutrition, movement, and optimizing biological age. I know who does this really, really well is, I have to say, is Helena. Helena, I know you're living that process. I know Jay Michael is, and they're going to be coming back for a show to talk about what they're doing differently to help with their longevity practices. And the fourth thing is recovery and stress management. And who better to reach out to than Cora, for our emotional detox therapist, to help you with that, because they show you tools with breathe work, cold plunge. I don't know about you, but in Canada, I think it's on Boxing Day, or is it January 1st? Everybody, the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, they all go in and do the cold plunge. And there's also meditation and adaptogens to help build resilience. So that is a big thing. So, I've been looking into a lot of research on breathe work myself and trying to take a time to breathe, even though it doesn't look like it right now, the way that I'm talking. But the number 5 is the targeted supplements and functional nutrition. That is another thing that's really a hot trend right now. And nutritional support for immune balance, inflammation control, and overall wellness. And there's a lot of people here that are in that nutritional health space right now that are watching this show. And I'm very, very fortunate that we have our hands on one of the best, if the not best, companies' assets out there. And that is because before anything else, before you do any of these preventative health trends, the main thing you need to be looking at doing is building a strong immune system, because this enhances the benefits of all of these practices, all of these other products, all of these other protocols that you see up here. If you don't have that main strength of a strong immune system, everything else will just not work. So the question you have to ask, are you securing your family's generational health legacy? So we spend a lot of time and effort in securing other things in our life, but what are you doing today to help make sure your family's health is looked after? So going back to that question, so your immune system works like you do. Every day we make choices. We have a long-term protection. Small actions today create a strong tomorrow. So I don't know about you, but who here has home insurance? I'd love to, we all buy home insurance, right? You prepare for that storm. I mean, I live in the hurricane central area, like in the Caribbean, and there's people that always buy insurance for their properties, right? So if you don't wait until the damage happens to protect your home, you actually invest in making sure you're looked after in case anything happens. That's what your immune system does. It needs daily support so it's ready for when the challenges come. So if you don't look after your immune system, you're just basically, waiting for that storm to happen. The other thing that, my ex-husband used to run a car dealership, right? So vehicle maintenance was always something that we got a notification, you have to update your phone. You got a notification on your phone that, a car had to be looked after. So we get regular checkups for our cars, correct? So how often are we worried about, a car breaking down? You change the oil, you check the tires, you keep your vehicle running smoothly. Those are daily healthy habits, keeping your body running at its best. that we should be looking at, just like we do for the car. The third thing that we always end up doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, hopefully you all have a savings account, but for those that are maybe heading in their later years and you haven't invested in a long-term plan, it can be detrimental when you don't have the funds coming in to make sure that you are secure for tomorrow. The same thing happens when, for us, we make sure we have to have healthy choices for our deposit for our body to pull from. We need to make sure those poor choices are not withdrawals, and balance that matters. The fourth thing that we all typically need to look at are our strong roots, like what's beneath the surface that sustains you. So we need to build those strong roots inside of our system, so if anything does happen, we're ready to weather the storms. So daily habits are really, really important to our generational health for ourselves. So I wanted you to put this into perspective, because what you're doing today does help protect tomorrow's health. So I really kind of like this reminder. We sometimes forget about these things, about how we invest for those, the stuff we secure, and we put, we safety deposit bank, we buy jewelry and we put it behind four walls. But how often do we actually treat ourselves when it comes to protecting who we are and our family's health? So the third question I had, what if immunity isn't just strength, but intelligence? So what does that mean? We move from reactive protection to proactive biological awareness and precision regulation. This is one of the reasons why, if I have to think of something that's going to help the foundation, the number one thing that's going to help me get, stay healthy and protect my body and protect my family's legacy, because I am there for them. We do a lot of these things, we do it for our family. If I'm not protecting that, then I need to make sure there's something out there that's going to help me. And what better way to align yourself with a company or scientists or doctors that have done the research for you. So this is one of the reasons why, these slides are going to be available inside the community later, but I just want you to be aware that we are very, very fortunate that we have a supreme force of an elite team of scientists that help us defend us, your body, your system. Our mission is to help defend our bodies with the immune intelligence. And that is not just about being strong, it's about it being intelligent in how we protect. So here are some real life scenarios. An air traffic controller keeps the sky safe, right? A VIP security team protects what matters most. I'm sure, Trump and any presidential team has a security team. So who do they call? They have to have that security team that protects them in their best interests. A world-class sports team plays with a strategy. They don't just go off and just, hey, I'm just going to kick a ball around today. They actually have a strategy, and a coach is there to help them get forward so they stay consistent and they win that trophy. Real life scenarios about the smart homes out right now. The smart homes and their systems out there to protect and adapt and help you, learn patterns, help you protect your family. But the real life scenario is where there's a cost factor in place. There's a financial cost factor that risks your future growth and future health, because sometimes we don't put that into quantification. We don't necessarily look at the long-term cost, not only financially, but emotionally, for not investing in our future. So we need to make sure that we are aligned with immune intelligence, because what if immunity isn't just strength, but intelligence? And I'm so thankful that we have this community to help us stay strong together. So tonight's launch is about a June theme, which is preventative health, which I think we need to have more discussions on, because we're typically more reactive about how we can support the healing after the fact. So we can shift the narrative to be more preventative. We are going to be growing, and also helping so many people, and they may not necessarily see it, but I'd rather be proactive than worry about, how I can help somebody heal from a detriment down the road. So we're going to be defining immune intelligence. We're going to be previewing the 4-part series that's going to be happening for the month of June. We're going to give you the opportunity to learn about the certificate that we're going to offer, but you have to be participating. You have to show up, and we're not going to force you to show up at every call, but it would be nice for you to just like or comment or watch some of the things. We're going to talk about the parameters soon, but we also are going to be talking about the July 1st product launch previews that's going to be happening, and we're going to have some working conversations and training on these, on how do we, how do we understand how they work? What are the benefits of what these products are coming out that's going to help with the immune intelligence? Because they're powerful. The more I learn more about it, the more I'm like, wow, I can't wait till I get the transfactor max in my hand, because I want those stem cells in my body. I want to look like I'm 80. I want to look like I'm 18 when I'm 80. And if I can do that without some injections or chemicals in my body, and it's done naturally and ethically with integrity and longevity practices involved in it, I'm going to be on it. So it's all about education, empowerment, and community. So I'm looking forward to, you guys giving some feedback, especially in the community. And I'd love for you to tell me whether or not we're on the right track. Sometimes we just need some feedback and a like, a comment, or subscribe to our Feel Good Sugar channel to let us know whether or not we're doing good. So if health is moving toward prevention, what do we need to know now? What conversations do we need to have before a crisis happens? And I hate to say it, but there's a lot of mumblings out there right now about another pandemic coming down the road. This is not about fear. It is about prevention. We all went through COVID, and we'll talk about that later down in the conversation. But if we can help others be aware in a preventative mindset, then the fear can be dissipated. So again, why this conversation matters is like, how strong is, we need to ask the questions, how strong is my health foundation today? What can I do before a crisis, as I mentioned? How do I support my immune system naturally? And what habits should I be teaching my family? And how do I prepare without living in fear? That's a big thing, because it's not about fear. It's about education, empowerment, and building a stronger foundation. So health is built every day by small daily choices. Every decision acts as a building block. There's also a long-term foundation, consistency in nutrition. So what are you feeding your body? What activity you're doing? What recovery are you creating in terms of your sleep pattern? Who are you aligning with that can maybe just help you stay on a lower stress level? Like, sometimes it's about just you're having the community, moving away from that reactive care. So if you're heading on a path where you're constantly going to the doctor, or somebody is constantly telling you they just went to the doctor, they're not feeling good, then maybe it's time to have those discussions about preventative habits. So this is a nice little slide, and I just thought this is a great thing to remind everybody. Your body's built-in protection system, like what is the immune system and what it does. So if anybody's asking about what is an immune system around you, or what does it mean? I mean, even I didn't quite fully understand it. It protects you against, protects your body. It shields you from germs, viruses, and harmful invaders. That's what your body system does. It detects and spots threats early before they can cause harm. It communicates, sends messages to coordinate the right response, the right place, the right time. If you have a strong immune system, it'll do that for you. And it cleans up, it clears out germs and damaged cells to keep you healthy, repairs, heals damage, and helps your body recover and grow stronger. And it remembers past threats, so it can respond faster next time. Your immune system is working for you all the time, not just when you are sick. So imagine when you're compromised. Imagine when you see somebody else that talked about having autoimmune disease. What if we could show you a way to help them get a healthier immune system response, a more balanced, modulated immune system response? We have that. And I'm really excited about what we're getting. So immune intelligence makes it simple. Immune intelligence is something that we have that can help you recognize, respond, and remember, and communicate and adapt and balance. This is what we have. And I'm going to share these slides later, so I don't have to go through every single slide. However, what I do love, and everybody knows the 3 R's. We all talk about this constantly. If you're new to the community or new to the immune system education, The 3 R's of immune intelligence is recognize. The immune system identifies what belongs in the body versus potential threats. It responds after identifying a threat. The immune system activates a targeted specific response. So if something is coming to them, it'll respond and react and help and remember. So if that threat came to them before or was in their system before, it will remember and retain that information from past exposure, so it improves the response with efficiency. What I love is that we are now going to be adding a 4th R, which is the repair. And that is something that we're going to hear more about. I think today there was a video drop that came out this afternoon that talked the reason why there was a change in some formulas in what we have, because we need that now more than ever. You know, our body not only needs to be fighting off, but we need some help with repairing the damage that might be done because of the threats that we're being exposed to. So this is why I'm really excited about what's coming. So again, a shift in the way we think about health. We've talked about the reactive approach is those people that go to the doctors. They're the ones that they wait for the symptoms to happen and they respond about the problems. They're often really urgent, or they're stressful, or they're illness centered, and the hypochondriacs in some cases. But in some cases, it's legitimate because of the environmental toxins that have been exposed to, or the lifestyle habits that they've been practicing. And maybe they just don't know better, or because they're maybe time stretched. And, that's one of the things I was guilty of. I was very, very time stretched, working so much. I never put myself first until it came to a position where, the life got in the way. I had a life experience that put myself in a position where I had to make a decision. And I had to I had to rework and rebalance myself so I could go back to the way I was feeling. I needed to feel good again. And we'll talk more about that later. Preventative approach is about early learning, building daily habits, supporting body foundations, and is wellness centered. So you're seeing a huge shift right now where people are talking about this. So we need to be on the bandwagon and making sure that we can help people not only take on the next craze, but go back to the foundation. So the cost of waiting is rising. I just wanted to show you this slide because, over the last, since 2000, there has been a massive switch in healthcare spending. The growth is in the trillions. There has been an exponential growth, like $5.3 trillion has been in increased spending. And the trajectory is actually getting higher. So we really need to look at what we're doing when it comes to spending, yes, Claudia, you have a...
Because you just said I wanted to show you this slide. I just want to confirm that we have been watching you as a presenter, but not with slides. Are you supposed to be showing slides?
Yes, I am. Have I not been sharing?
So I just thought, you're doing a great job presenting. We haven't seen slides up until now. So is this the first slide, or you were doing it with slides before?
I was doing with the slides.
Okay, so this is the slides you're in. We can just continue, and maybe you're doing a great job without slides. So
yeah, I'll share the thank you. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing.
All right.
That's part of help with. Okay, so anyway, a lot of the slides I do have. I will make sure that they get the PowerPoint will be shared for you to view, because it's all in every single slide's in a link, so it's easy for me to share later for you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so next slide is. A little bit just there you go. All right, so generation health starts with us. So the foundation of future well-being is making sure that we have nutritional habits, stress management, sleep routines, core beliefs, and community support are in place. Immune communication and education. Where transfer factor comes in is it's about immune communication and memory, cellular signaling, and resilience and support. This is part of a larger conversation around supporting the body, not forcing the body. So education, prevention, and community. This is where this series is going to be helping you. We're going to be asking better questions. Hopefully we'll get better setup and maybe a little extra support so that I can do a presentation. It's not just Jillian talking. You can actually see what we're actually sharing with some of this information. But the understanding of the immune system is the biggest thing right now. We all need to understand the knowledge of what body defense mechanisms we have. but we also need to also talk about those daily habits. And that's one of the things that we're going to be leading up to before July 1st, because we have a lot of things planned for the community. And that includes, you know, some preventative and measures that we can support you on not only losing weight, but also helping you reset your system so that you can feel good again. And that's, so stay tuned for that. And we also, again, I talk about this general health, generational health a lot, but, you know, the more we can educate our children and our families on prioritizing those actions, more so than worrying about whether or not we have, you know, our retirement funds put into place, because who knows, by the time we reach out to be able to pull those funds, if our health's not there, it's not worth it. It's not even worth the investment of time. So what is coming up next? I don't want to just go in, I'm not going to go into too much details on this, but we are going to be doing education on the immunity. We're going to be doing education on the super greens with phytofactor. We're going to explain the transfer factor more so you understand it and you understand the benefits of it, so you can make educational choices for yourself and those that you love. So those are really exciting things that we're going to talk about. And the other thing that we need to talk about is the Immune Intelligence Foundation certificate. So this is how you can earn your certificate. So we are going to be offering this at the end of the month. And all you have to do is very simple. It's going to be a 5-question reflection survey, 5 questions that we have you ask, answer, and basically, you know, a little bit of involvement in the community is what we want you to do. We want you to invite others into the community. We do expect you to maybe engage a little bit inside the community, maybe like, comment, or making a post or giving feedback. And that's really all we want, is to communicate community of contribution. And then if you find feedback, you find value in the training, and then the fact that you get to have a certificate at the end of it, this is awesome. You know, this is one of the things I always like to do, is be able to share the certifications I've had from attending certain trainings. So I hope you see value in that. And that's coming at the end of the month. We'll give you more details on how you can qualify for it. But the sharing stories is really, I really want to talk about. Like, we have weekly spotlight on members demonstrating commitment, and you've probably seen a lot of them. We have a lot of people in our community right now, and it's not about being part of somebody's teams. It's about showing up and showing commitment and contributing to what we're doing. So we want you to be active. We want to be, you know, showing up if you can. If you can't, at least comment or give us feedback that you enjoyed something, you know. We also want you inviting others so you can build the community. We want to make sure that you're sharing your knowledge. So if you want to share a testimonial, if you want to share some feedback or contribute in any way, we do love volunteers, and we do love to hear your stories. And that's what this Share Good Stories and Solutions community is all about. It has gone through a new rebranding. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it really is about you being an example of somebody in our community that we all want to emulate. So please, please, please help us with giving the community a little bit more exposure. But this week's member spotlight is Rhonda Robertson. And I want, if you haven't heard her testimonial, she is based in, excuse me, Rhonda, I spelled your name wrong. I apologize. But she is from Saskatchewan, Canada. She's a beautiful example of somebody who is an advocate for health. She absolutely loves this community. I know this from, we had a really great testimonial on our Detox Diary call last Thursday. And she did release 19 pounds in 21 days and continues to maintain it based on our access to the community, the resources, and the education she's been receiving over the last few months. So thank you for Rhonda for being such a great member spotlight. So if you want to become a member spotlight, we do make a decision based on the contribution inside the community. So thank you again. And then who knows, you might be the member spotlight next week. So for the full June series, we are going to have you attend and watch, invite others. You can earn rewards by engaging actually to unlock community benefits. There's going to be some other benefits that you're going to be able to access to if you're active in the community. That includes some surprise giveaways that we've had done in the past. We may not do it every week, but I want you to be available to do that. And can you maybe somebody stop the somebody's looking at the whiteboard? Can you just remove that person who is managing the whiteboard, because
we don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody was trying to share something, so
Okay.
don't play around with your screen,
Yeah.
please. Be careful.
Thank you. Because we don't want anybody leaving some dirty pictures on our pictures, which has happened before. Okay. So if moderators, if you can just double check that there's anybody actioning in there that should not be here, we just have to be sensitive to that. Okay. So the June agenda, like today is just the overall launch, and I can quickly scroll through the previous slides so you know what I was talking about, so that you might want to go back and read them. But next week, we're going to have Claudia support some education, a little bit more education on the immune system and what we can do, about that, so we can explain it more in the future. On June 16th, we have Sonia that's going to be coming in and helping us a little bit more about the transfer factor and actually explain the MAX. We're going to be talking about the transfer factor MAX on that day. And then on June 23rd, our beautiful Helena is going to help us, share her testimonial on what she's doing today. I know she loves the super greens, so I know I'm going to have her to talk about that, because that's going to be about, all about cellular defense. That's what the super greens really help with. And we're going to talk more about what she's been doing, over the last couple of weeks. And then we're going to finalize the call with J. Michael, that's going to talk about the immune tea, but also talk about how he lives an immune resilient life. So for somebody, if you don't know J. Michael, he is just somebody with so much energy and commitment to what we're doing. So that's going to be the agenda for the month. And so next week, like I said, it's going to be Claudia. So please make sure you join the show next week and invite others to attend. But I do want to also remind everybody of some changes that happened over the weekend. So if you guys got confused, there are two communities that we have, and that's one of the reasons why we have Feel Good, Share Good. And I want to explain these two separate communities for you. If you're not a member of them, make sure you ask to be invited. The one that you're watching this live in right now is called the Share Good Health Stories and Solutions. This is the private community. This is where we share those stories, those real stories. Like, we have some powerful stories in here, from every ailment you can think of, and we need more of them. We need a library of not only stories and testimonials, but potential protocols. And we're going to start building up a library of resources that people can access to help not only, yes, the reactive measures in some cases, but we also want people to understand a little bit more about the preventative actions they can be doing, including maybe looking at doing a detox, maybe looking at doing a reset. We try to maybe looking at doing some preventative measures when it comes to the immune system as well. So that is a private community that you're all in right now. That's where the main education is going to be. But we also have the Feel Good Naturally. That is a public community. This is where I would love for you to share your stories, but that are compliant. We have to also make sure that anything we do publicly is compliant. But these are great places for you to share stories of, before and afters, right? There's some great testimonials of before and afters, right? Of physical before and afters that align, or maybe this is where you have a great tip on how you can feel good. Like, what is it, something that you do a daily practice? I don't just take my supplements. There are things that I do in my life. Meditation practices, my 7-minute reset of, what I do in terms of, you see a lot of Tai Chi exercises in there. What are you doing to help feel naturally good? So I want you in there to share that. And that's where we're going to share those public things to engage people as well. It's also where we go live for our Detox Diaries calls on Thursday with Dodie Dietz. Okay. So that's where you're going to see more information about that coming soon. But make sure you are joining both communities. And these are everybody's community. This is where we can support each other and make, people without feeling like they're being directed to a company, they're being directed to a feeling. This is the difference on what we're doing. So I want to go back to, that discussion so that we can think about this when we open up a discussion right now. What does preventative health mean to you? And I would love to have some feedback on some lessons that we learned from COVID-19. Remember, inside a private community, so, when we stop, I'm going to stop the recording when we go into the discussion, but we're still going to keep the live going inside the community so that we can have a discussion so other people can maybe listen in. But we want to prioritize health, immune health. So what daily habits are we doing right now? I want you to think about this to build long-term resilience, and identifying opportunities, like pinpointing specific lifestyle habits we want to improve or cultivate. What are we looking at today that we need to do to prevent, for those that watched the show with Dr. Regina on hantavirus, like every single week there's a new fear factor coming into play. So how are we identifying those concerns or potential fears so that we can communicate to our family members so that they're ready? And we need to also be setting up some healthy objectives for ourselves for this month. So what are we doing? How are we paying this forward? How are we communicating? I'd love to have this kind of discussion when we stop the recording. So because you didn't see the PowerPoint presentation, I just want to show you there's some really nice slides here for those that, this was the opening slide. Okay. All right, I'm just going to quickly go through this, and then I'll let you know what we have there. We have the disclaimer. I had the question. I will print this off for you guys to see, but this is the one opening slide I talked about, the immune system natural suppressed defense. I will share this inside the community afterwards, but I just wanted you to know what I was talking about prior, and I didn't realize I wasn't sharing. This was another one that I had created that you can use to help people understand how the system can work for you. And, going back to immune intelligence, this was the one that I thought was great for helping you understand why people invest in security systems, but let's look at what we have. We have something amazing. And then just going through quickly a little bit more of the slides that you may have missed. I just want you to be aware that they're there. And I apologize, I wasn't aware that I wasn't presenting. But this is the one slide that I really liked, talked about, what your immune system does. And I'll make sure that you get this particular presentation available for you to look at later, okay? So on that note, I'm just going to close this off, stop the share. And any questions on what I presented today before I stop the live inside the community? Any feedback? Claudia?
You can raise your hand. Well, I thought it was fantastic, but not only that, to be able to get access, and just like Jillian was explaining, each slide is a standalone. So what we want is for you to use the slides as material to be promoting the talks, bringing guests. All this material is produced for you so that you can use it as marketing material to bring people into these meetings on Tuesday nights, and obviously into the groups. So thank you, Jillian, for all the work that you're doing for the team. It's fantastic. Like, they cannot be more beautiful and professional. They look so good. They really do. And all of that just because you're part of the English team, everyone. So big heart for Jillian, please, because she's worked so hard to give us this material, and it's open to everybody. It's open for us to share health, share good. Helena wants to say something. Your co-host.
Nope, ask Debbie.
She's co-host. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, because it's awesome, all the work that you do, all the information you give us, all the support, and I can't wait to share my experience of those days. And guys, we got a miracle with those new products. So get ready for July 1st, because this is like a bomb. As I wait until I'll tell you what's happening with my daughter and me. Okay.
Oh, I'm really excited. I can't wait to hear your testimonial, Helena. This is exactly one of the reasons why I do what I do, because, if we don't share what we have, then what legacy are we leaving for our family and friends, right? Well, so, actually, why don't I just give a little preview of what's been happening, Helena? What has been happening with you? Just a little preview.
Oh, we're doing the 21 days detox with the new products. And my daughter is lost 8 pounds already. Her skin, it looks amazing. But let me tell you, she's so happy because she can help other young people there with their depression, anxiety, and all that. They're using alcohol, is smoking marijuana to be as a remedy for their anxiety and all that. And she quit smoking. So she hasn't been smoking since the first day. And thanks to the greens, before we started detox, I give her a green because she said, I feel a lot of anxiety. I said, drink this. And then she said, what did you give me? Because my anxiety went down and I haven't smoked. She will be outside at the home smoking late at night. He hasn't touched one smoke. And then she told me she was walking the other day and somebody passed by smoking and she said, I felt like, ugh, what that smell? So that's awesome. That's awesome. Please keep bringing your friends, your family, everybody, your prospects, because this is change life, and we're going to change life for all young people that are resourcing, trying to mitigate their problems with alcohol, with drugs, and with marijuana, everything else. It's no need for that. This is the best detox.
Thank you. And actually, we're changing the term a little bit. And we're going to talk a little bit more soon about what we're doing. We're just finalizing some things that we're, for that, because it's more of a reset, our body's reset, because, we're not, there's different versions. We're going to be having 3 different versions. We'll talk about that soon. So stay tuned. We are creating a separate community. And there is a firewall to get in because we just have to protect the assets and the communications because we don't want people going off and not having clear direction. And anyway, that's coming soon. So stay tuned. We'll probably have another call next week on that particular topic separately. Okay. So we have some questions here. I think Isaac, is Isaac or Isaac? Sorry if I spelled you know. Did you have a question? Anybody else?
We need to unmute him. 1 second.
Okay.
Go ahead. Try and unmute.
There you go. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Jillian, I just wanted to say thank you, even though you said that you were not presenting. Hold on, I'm just getting feedback. Okay, because I cannot hear a thing what I'm saying. But anyhow, even though you were not using your PDF and the presentation was superbly well done, it was very easy to digest. So everyone that was listening here, that's the whole point. Even though we were not able to see your presentation, everything is in layman terms, which is what we should be doing for people so they cannot get all confused with all this information, all these medical terms that most of the people will not probably even understand. I don't understand most of the things, but the way you presented was right on point, and precisely that's what we should be doing. So that way we use this as a marketing tool so we can present either just one slide so people can learn all this extremely valuable information. And as you stated, something is brewing right now, and most of the people probably could happen the same way it happened in 2020, that they're not paying attention. But as long as we have a strong immune system, we'll be golden and we'll still be here.
Correct. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Jillian, for everything.
Feedback. And for those that don't know my background, my background has been as an educator, as a trainer. So just so you're aware of my background. So my background has been taking corporate information and try to simplify the message so it can be easily understood for the average consumer. The average consumer does not necessarily understand some of the technology. And to be honest, when I came in, I was really confused. because I did not fully understand the science behind things. So if I can keep it simple, like, you know, my motto is KISS, keep it simple, sister. If you keep it simple, but at the same token, relatable and emotional. So most people convert, and I'm just talking about this from a training that I used to do at other companies, is like they will, as long as you know we have a solution to the problem and we can send them to a story that relates to that problem that they're suffering with, I know we have a solution. I want to make it simple. So make sure you guys are aware of the community assets that we have. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm not feeling well. How can you help me feel good again? We find out what the main pain point is, and 9 times out of 10, we have a solution. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'm dealing with a lot of inflammation, and I tend to get really, you know, I'm sore all the time. So what do we have in our shelf that we could be offering them? Renuvo is one of them, right? So I want to be able to send them to a testimonial to somebody that relates to that story. So we have that. Make sure you know when you go to the guides, go to the guides inside our community. There's a testimonial on Renuvo. There's a testimonial on cancer. There's a testimonial on autism. There's a testimonial on everything you can think of, and we want more. So that's where Isaac and Helena and Rita and Coinder and Vicky and anybody else that's here, if you have those testimonials, please share them, because I just want to make it simple to my family members to say, hey, not just Jillian over here, I'm not an immunologist, you know, but I have a story of somebody else that got better. Here, come over here, let me tag you on it. Right, Helena? I know Helena had a point, but then I'll go back to you.
Yes, I just want to share that finally in Pasadena, California, we are having our own reunión central for business opportunity in English and Spanish. So it's going to be every Thursday from 6 p.m. in English, at 7 p.m. in Spanish. So I will share the flyers and the chat and the WhatsApp. If anybody, I know some that live in California, or maybe you have somebody in California, I'll be glad to help you. You would send them there, give me my name and where they come from, and I'll be glad to help you. So we are finally, we got our English one.
Well, I do. So I have there are, but those. This is just so you know, the Sugar community. For those who are watching this, it's not an MLM community. This is about sharing some stories of solutions to help people overcome problems. So, so I want to hear stories from every angle, not just for life or in that aspect of it for those out there. But you're right, Helena. There are people out there that just need to be directed into something that works, and that's why I appreciate the community. And Isaac, do you have one more thing to talk about before I close the live, and then we can get a little bit more personal? We're live right now.
Vicky Snow has something that we can answer when we finish our recording.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop the recording out there. So remember, everybody, I will share the link. It's an actual link to the presentation, so you can watch the presentation afterwards inside the community. We'll upload the recording inside our YouTube channel. Please follow at Feel Good Share Good on YouTube for all our past recordings that we have up there, ones that we can share. And then make sure that if you have a concern or a question about anything, that if you're even inside the group, don't hesitate to ask a question inside the group. It's not just about me reminding you there's an event coming up. It's about you asking questions. Somebody will answer. We have over 1,400 people in that community right now. Somebody's going to have a response to that question. Okay, so that's what you guys play in there. Play in there more. So anyway, I hope you guys will see you next week. Claudia is going to be sharing some more information about the immune system. And thank you for everybody that showed up tonight. So I'm going to stop the recording now. And help me, Coinda, to check to see that I ended the live video.